I told you that we have these, we have surveys. Everybody has a survey, by the way. We want your survey. We want your feedback because it's how we make these even better. But on some of the surveys, some of you talked about, we didn't want to listen to, you don't have a whiny voice in your survey. Let me not do that. But some of you talked about how you didn't want to listen to the retirement information because you didn't offer retiree coverage. And then I've spoken with you, like David talked about, we have been going to these units, we've been talking to you, we've been hosting these meetings, and some of you may have started, way after your unit signed up with us. So you may have been with us since 1995, and some of you may not have, God love you may not have been born in 1995. So you may not know that you can make changes to your plan. You can make changes if you don't offer coverage. So what I'm going to do is a very high overview of things that impact units who don't offer retiree coverage and those of you who do offer retiree coverage, because the time for change is next month. But we're going to go on with it. I really like this quote. I know nobody really started with quotes, but heck, nothing about today has been very conventional, so here we go. But there's never enough time to do all the nothing you want. I know that I'm young. I'm getting older, but I am young. But my husband, he says that he's retiring in 3 years. He's a fireman, and he's on a 20-year plan. I hate to break it to him, but it just ain't happening in 3 years. But he just keeps talking about how he just can't wait to do nothing. Y'all, that ain't happening. We have 2 kids. But anyway, I just love this quote. Now, there are some people who retire and they enjoy retirement for about a month and they go find another job. My father-in-law, God love him, did 3 years, or he's been retired for 3 years. He just went back to work on Monday. So he was done. I feel like it has something to do with my mother-in-law, but we won't go there. So anyway, but let's go on. All right. We have, as of this, we have 668 units in our plan. And if that number's not right, I blame Dustin. So they can either offer no retirement coverage. So once the person retires from your unit, if they have no coverage, they may not have any coverage at all. Okay, so that's one option, option one. 303 of you, by the way, have that option. So 79 units in our plan, they only offer coverage up until the person becomes Medicare eligible, and then they kick them out. 286 of you offer both non-Medicare and Medicare coverage. So for the lifetime of your retiree, they have coverage with us. If you're one of these 79 units and you are offering coverage to your non-Medicare retirees, that is the most expensive time to cover your people. So expensive. And then they're being removed when it's the cheapest. So I want to put that out there. I'm not here to convince you to do anything. I really love my job because I really feel like, I don't know how to say this, I love advocating for you and I love advocating for your people. So this is a service that you can provide for your people if it's financially, if you're able to do that. Your unit determines how much you are going to pay for your employees coverage, but also for your retirees coverage. So here goes some cost. This is going to be fun. This is for 2023 rates. This is for a single coverage preferred, so that's a discounted rate. The vast majority of our units are on that preferred premium category with dental. So single coverage is $587 a month. Family coverage, $1,433 a month, okay? Here we go. Here's for non-Medicare. So this is going to be with dental. Your single coverage is $1,214 a month. Family coverage is $2,239. This is when it's the cheapest. Cost of Medicare premium with dental, your single coverage is $201 a month. Your family coverage, if the person and the spouse are both Medicare eligible, it's going to go to $402 a month. Okay, that's 2023. There's a significant difference in that cost. I know it's expensive, guys. I know it is. It's just the way it is, and I'm so sorry. But you can see how much, especially for those units who are just doing that non-Medicare and then they remove them when they become Medicare eligible for whatever the reason is, it's such a cost savings It really is. Okay, so a few years ago, we made this change where a lot of units did not want to offer retiree coverage because it would mess up the preferred premium rate. I get it. We heard you loud and clear. And so that 5% of your covered people had to be retirees. Well, sometimes that's just really hard, especially if you're a really small unit. So you weren't able to actually financially carry that burden of that standard premium. So we made a change a few years ago. And Dustin talked about this, but as long as you certify that you offered coverage to all of your retiring employees, we just have to have that certification. So there is a form that you complete. I think it's on the status change form, I believe, or cancellation form. I have it in here. But there's a part in there that says retiree was offered coverage but declined. And then what you're going to do is you're going to write into us. After October 31st, we're going to work out and see who has their wellness preferred stuff and who has, or their wellness participation, who has all of these things. We're going to look at that. And that's when you write into us and say, I have certified all of these people and they are that they turned down our coverage. We take that. That's what counts toward that preferred premium. Does that make sense? So you have two options here, either 5% or you certify to us that everybody was offered coverage. That's it.
Every retiree
that retired that year. Excellent question. She asked every retiree. No, it's for those who retired that year. If you don't have anybody retired, then you're good to go, right? Right? Where's Teresa?
If I had an employee to retire this year, but because they had retired from another county or agency, they were covered under always been covered under their insurance. They don't apply to this, right?
Because they turned down coverage with us, right? They did a declination form with us. No, they do not count. Her question had to do with somebody who came from someplace else. They retired from one job and then retired from her, but they declined coverage when they became a full-time employee, an employee who worked more than 30 hours a week. They had already declined our coverage, so they were not offered retiree coverage with us. Yes, ma'am.
never had anyone to retire as of yet. Do we still need to certify?
No. Her question is, they have never had anybody retire so far. You do not need to certify for people who have not retired. You don't have to worry about that. Yes, ma'am.
Does it matter the years of service?
Yes, I'm going to get into that. Okay. Yep, I'm going to get into years of service.
When do we let y'all know this? After?
After October 31st, we'll start doing the preferred. Is Teresa over there? I'm right here. Yes, thank you, sister. Save me. Her question was, when do they need to let us know about the certification?
On retirement,
yes.
We need to know 30 days in advance when they're retiring, because if they're Medicare eligible, we need to give them a 21-day opt-out notice that's required from Medicare. So we'll need to be notified 30 days before retirement.
Okay, and then if they're certifying, if it's after October 31st for that certification period, at what time when's the deadline for them to get that information to you for the certification?
On certification.
If they're certifying, if they are sending in because they have they're certifying that they have
met their retiree participation.
That they were offered and the retiree declined the retiree coverage.
They have 15 days to do it. Once they're classified as standard, then you'll need to notify us that you need to be reclassified. And if they've signed the cancellation form saying they were offered it, then we already have the information. So you will not need to send the forms to our office because we already have them. You can just send the letter.
Yes. So to sum that up, you are going to receive, if you're doing it and you have less than 5%, you are going to receive a standard notification. You're going to receive a notification that your unit is standard. You just need to write into us. Y'all, with that new system that Rob's going to talk about, I hope this changes it. But you will need to let us know. You just write in a letter that says, hey, I've certified. Don't do that. Just say, I've certified all of our retirees who have left that have not enrolled. They have declined coverage. Here are the names of these people. That way we can go ahead and reference that. So we don't have that ability to do that as of this moment. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I had someone who became retirement age who decided to enroll with Medicare through a Medicare program, him and his spouse, and then declined his
Local coverage.
local coverage because he's still employed. He plans to retire next year or so. So when he retires, does he fall into this or?
But he's still active employee.
Yeah.
But he does not have our coverage.
But he declined.
He declined it because he got Medicare?
Yeah. He decided not to use it and went through have another coverage.
Okay, when someone retires, when they retire, then they will need to decide if they want retiree insurance to continue. But if they have declined coverage at retirement, then there's nothing to continue at that point because they had declined local government and enrolled in something else. So I'll change it around a little bit. Say you have an employee that's been enrolled, they've been on our plan more than 10 years, they decline the insurance for a period of time, they're enrolled at retirement, and as long as they've met the 10 years in the local government plan, they meet the eligibility for retirement, then at that point in time, they could be a retiree, as long as they met all the requirements to be a retiree. And being a retiree, if you cancel your insurance for any reason, then you're not allowed to re-enroll.
We get, oh, one more.
The 10-year rule, isn't there an exception for those plans that have been out there, like maybe since 2017?
Her question is, due to the 10-year rule, if your unit has been in the plan since 2017 or less than 10 years, then the participant would need to have been enrolled from the time the unit joined to current. But if your unit's been in the local government plan more than 10 years, then the employee would have to meet the 10 years in the local government plan. Great question.
All right. See, here we are. How can a unit make this change? So you're going to want to complete that unit changes form, or the unit change form. It's form LG11. It can be found in your unit guide, and this also will be uploaded to the website very, very soon. These are finished. I just have to put in a ticket for our IT group to update them. So anyway, but like I say on here, a common misconception is that once your unit makes this determination on retirement, that it is set in stone and that's how it is until kingdom come. But that is not quite the case. You can make this change during the month of November, but it will take effect January 1. So any changes that are made during open enrollment in the month of November, the changes take effect January 1, guys. All right, so you're going to submit this form by email. Guess what? We didn't used to do this, but we had quite a few of you on surveys at a conference. Again, very important to complete those surveys that we gave you. Tell us, please, for the love of everything, let me get rid of my fax. And we said, done. So you can email this into the enrollment's email address. If you do not currently do that, I highly recommend it. Enroll things to enrollments. So if you do not currently offer coverage to Medicare retirees, you can do that on this form in the month of November. When is it effective? January 1st. That's right. I don't have a prize for you. Effective date of retirement coverage will begin the following January. I do have a raffle though, just heads up. All right, so things to know about offering retiree coverage. So it's only effective for subscribers who retire after the coverage date is effective. So if you do make this change in the month of November, it's only going to go for retirees who are people who retire January 1 or after. So those of you who have retirees before January 1st, no coverage. Units determine the cost. So you guys determine, once again, how much you're going to charge your retirees for that coverage. That is up to the unit. We just pass along that premium, you collect it, and you send us a check. So we bill the premiums to your unit, you collect from the retiree. We do not collect money from the retiree. All right, here we go. Eligibility. So they need to have at least 10 years of coverage in our plan, and, here we go. They need to have a combination of 25 years or more of service with a participating unit or other service as approved by the LGHIB, regardless of age. All this information is in your administrative guide, and I have a tab on there for retirement. Makes it a lot easier to find. They need to be at least 60 years old. So 10 years of service, 60 years old. Or they are determined to be disabled by the Social Security Administration, not by RSA. No offense, Jeffrey and Kit, who are here from RSA. But if they do not meet any of these requirements, they will be deemed a termination. Okay? All right. They're ready to retire. What's next? We need that status change form, guys. We need, for non-Medicare retirees, they must complete the LG02, also available in your book, available online. And they need to select the retirement type. Are they Medicare or are they non-Medicare? Send it to where? Enrollments. That's right, by email. Soon, friends, we are going to be updated in our technology, and I'm so excited. All right, we also will need a years of service form. So if they are retiring due to years of service, they need to complete LG22. So this was brought up, or Teresa brought this up. We do need to have that retirement information 30 days prior to retirement. Hopefully somebody doesn't just get mad and say, I quit, I retire, whatever, the day of. It happens. I've heard of these stories. But in an ideal world, we have these forms 30 days in advance. All right. The person does not know what they want to do. Well, retirees who are eligible for coverage, they have to enroll at the time of retirement, okay? If they are eligible, they need to enroll at that time. If they decline, they will not be allowed to re-enroll in our plan. Once you are out, you are out. We're like a prestigious club, I feel like. But also, if they cancel coverage, they cannot come back. So just know that. If you have somebody who is returning to work, so they retired from a unit, they're coming to work for your unit, they retired from your unit, and hey, they can't want to come back. They are averaging 30 hours or more per week. They can be enrolled as an active employee. Just know that if this happens, let's say that they leave city of Aniana and they go to the city of, or let's just say they go to Madison County, okay? I don't know off the top of my head what you guys offer as far as retirement goes. I'm just putting you guys out here. And they decide that they're going to enroll in Madison County's retirement. They're going to enroll in Madison County as an active employee, okay? So they're canceling their coverage, their retirement coverage with Aniana. Well, if they, let's say that Madison County does not offer retiree coverage, so the person says, you know, I don't want to work anymore, I want to retire, but they were an active employee on Madison County, they can't go back to Aniana. Take that into consideration. I know that's kind of clear as mud. Take that into consideration. If you have somebody who's leaving a unit and they're coming to your unit, if you do not have retiree coverage, make sure that they are aware that once they leave, once they retire from your unit and you do not offer retiree coverage, that they are going to have to find coverage elsewhere because they will not be able to go back to their home unit or their previous unit. But if they retire from your unit and they come back to your unit, and they're averaging 30 hours or more per week, then they can retire again. You can have them as an active employee and they can retire again. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm saying that right. My general counsel is pacing. I'm scared. Am I right?
If you go to work for a new unit, we're going to allow you to decline coverage with that new unit using your local government retiree coverage from the previous unit because we do recognize that puts the employee in a difficult position.
Okay, so like what Chris was just saying, the person can decline coverage and use us as their proof of coverage if they're with us already. Yes, ma'am.
If they come back to our unit and they are averaging 30 hours, should they have to put in another 10 years or they can like re-retire anytime they want?
No, as long as if they come back to your unit. Her question is, if the person comes back, if they retire and they come back to the unit, do they have to work in another 10 years? No, they do not. They already qualify for the retiree coverage. Okay, so some key takeaways. I did this very late at night. Not offering coverage. Yes, you can. You can offer coverage if you don't currently offer coverage. You can make this change during when? That's right. All right. If you have employees ready to retire, please, please, please send in that information 30 days before they retire. Please, please send in that information 30 days before they retire. And just know that if they cancel coverage, a retiree cannot come back into our group if they cancel coverage, unless, of course, what we just talked about, if they're going to another local government unit and they decided they want to enroll and da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, all these slides will be available to you, I promise. I promise. Do y'all have any other questions for me? Or Teresa? Yes. Oh, yes.
We have a retiree that's been retired for a couple of years, still in our plan. She turns 65 next year. So what do I have to do for that person?
So she's on your plan. She's already a retiree on your plan. She is non-Medicare eligible right now, but she will turn 65 and become Medicare eligible next year. Does she, Teresa? Does she have to? I don't think that we have to. I don't think you have to do anything.
If she's already retired and she's going to be Medicare eligible, we'll need a copy of her Medicare card.
Okay, we do need a copy of the Medicare card.
And in order to stay on, she has to have A and B.
Monica Owen from Enrollments, everybody. Coming in strong. So she will need to have parts A and B, absolutely. Michelle is here. She's with United Healthcare. She's going to talk to you about that. But in order to have that retiree coverage, Medicare coverage with us, if they're going to stay with us, they do have to be enrolled in both Medicare Parts A and B before we can enroll them in our UHC. Does that make sense? Who wants some prizes?
Michelle, hang on one second. Before you get to that, I'm sorry to keep you from your prizes. I'm the bad guy today. I want to say, if you get a letter that says you are standard just because you didn't meet the retiree percentage, come get a business card from me and call or email me, and we will get you taken care of right away. Just wanted to say that. We will look into it. I can't guarantee we will get that. Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Do you have a blue ticket that you got when you came in? Who does not have one? Don't cheat. Don't you cheat. Latana is going to help me. She's going to spin my wheel for me. Latana is also in our enrollments department. She's one of our newer employees in enrollments. Yeah, oh, they're spitting out everywhere. Oh my gosh, and now I'm scared. I'm nervous. Thank you, Amazon. It was like $10. All right, we ready? Yeah. And that's good. All right, let's open her up. You got your tickets out? Yeah, I'm going to grab one. This is not rigged. The numbers. Drum roll. Don't do it. 521 135. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.